Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about when the student tries to become the teacher too soon. You got a lot of students out here that's trying to become teachers far too soon. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that like some of us that's been stepping in these teaching positions have saying that we have been being the best or like at our highest. What it's to say is like, for any of us that's in this position, you know what I mean, you don't even have to be on camera. A lot of us is still teaching our friends and family in real lifetime, you know what I'm saying? You'll get to a point with the beings that you're around to when they feel as if though they know more or have another source of information that's providing them with something more than you have been given. So it's kind of like a 5th grade teacher, you know what I'm saying, teaching a 5th grade student. The teacher knows more knowledge and information and it's been through more experiences, but as a 5th grade student, you're gonna assume that you are more wiser and knowledgeable than the teacher. Now, just to fix the correlations, one reason why we get this concept in the Western world is because most 5th graders do know more than the teachers. It's all indoctrination. So as far as the basic concept, there are 5th graders that's more knowledgeable than teachers. That don't have anything to do with paperwork, you know what I mean? But for the example that we given right now, it's like we all have people around us that we want to see do better and grow and elevate, you know, if not with us, in their own space, you know, or on their own time or just throughout their journey, you know what I mean? But you'll realize as you working with them through their trials and tribulations, and then maybe they're working with you through your trials and tribulations, you'll see this student start to step up in front of the teacher. You'll see this student start trying to project as if it's more intellectual and more knowledgeable and has more experiences than the teacher. When this realm is fully operating spiritually how it's supposed to be and leading out in a healthy manner, because it's still leading spiritually, it's being controlled. You know, it's people telling you, oh, you feel this way in the inside, and then people do, and then they say, hey, project this outwardly, and then people do. You know, we supposed to do that, but we're supposed to do it our way and on our time, you know, not when somebody else tells us to do it. And a lot of these beings that start getting to this space when you start sharing your knowledge and information, because that's what we're supposed to do, you know what I mean? I would never tell nobody to stop sharing knowledge and information because people want to do more or feel like they're gonna get over on them or take it from them, you know what I'm saying? Some of them bullets we just have to eat. It just is what it is. You gotta tax it to the game, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when you go to the store and you buy an item, you know it's tax on there, but we don't ever look at the tax when we're just looking at $3.99. You know what I'm saying? You know that it's gonna be more, but it's already processed in there. It's kind of like some of the things that we do out here too. And being in these spaces for a while, right? It becomes, in the beginning, it's really challenging. In the beginning, it is really challenging, but as you grow through it, it's gonna become more fun if you enjoy challenges, you know what I mean? So example would be like, say like every day you go to work or every day you wake up and you leave out your bed and, you know, one of your siblings or your family members is like maybe at the table or at the job, just always in this really low vibration, you know what I mean? Or they're choosing to project a certain kind of energy out that doesn't feel good. That's what I should say. It doesn't feel good, because you could project energy and not be talking, but it still feel good to others. That's why they're comfortable with talking to you or smiling to you and doing other things, you know what I mean? So these beings will intentionally be in these spaces projecting this energy, and if you mention anything to them, they will communicate outwardly with you as if they know or more knowledgeable than you in what you've been doing. That's where it gets fun and challenging at, right? Because we know when we're dealing with the opposition, they're just doing this shit to pull energy. You know what I mean? So you know that any responses or reactions you give is giving them the energy. You know what I mean? But the thing is with us, we're always kind of giving energy. So if you can portion out, kind of like the gas station, you know what I'm saying? How they did the little electronic thing. So now you only pay for a certain amount and then this is what you get. But when I was younger and in high school, it was still, you could pump your gas and then go in the store and pay. It wasn't this prepay shit. Prepay shit is all new shit, you know what I'm saying? But the prepay shit is a good example for as far as like using your energy, you know what I'm saying? You already know you about to give a certain amount out, so you might as well go ahead and portion it and respond appropriately, you know what I'm saying? And as you engage and they want the energy, right? And you're giving them the energy, they're getting the energy, but they aren't getting the energy exactly how they would like it. See, what happens with these students who try to become teachers too soon, a lot of them don't be because they're just really excited to become a teacher. You know what I mean? Because if so, they would be teaching at the levels they're at. But they're trying to supersede the levels they're at and then start teaching other people and doing all these other things. No, you can teach at the levels you at. It's kind of like what I tell my mini, like you ain't gotta be teaching adults, but whatever information you got, you can share with your peers. That's the same thing as teaching. You know what I'm saying? So they have this weird thing of communicating with you and trying to use certain factional points, because certain things they do mention, you know, do be facts or they do be reality, but they miss certain pieces to it. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like somebody was saying something about what was the subject about? They were saying something about I said something, or it was something of that nature, but it was really precise, and I remembered it when I was in the time, and now I'm trying to process this stuff. But they said something about how I had said something, and I didn't, and they was making it seem like I didn't give a reason or a response as into why I responded that way. But when they said it, it snapped me back into, because the way we receive our information, it forces us to be honest the highest percentage of the time that you possibly can be in each day-to-day situation. So anytime you go back to that day-to-day situation, you're gonna be able to reflect. You can damn near paint the picture exactly the way it was then. You could damn near time travel to your past and be in that situation exactly and remember the words and phrases, how you used them and said them. But they used the facts. They did bring some pieces around, but they twisted it up to where it was like they were saying it as if I didn't give a actual reasoning to why I was responding to them the way I was responding to them. And I was just like, I already gave you those. So that's what happens when you ride with the Creator and the Most High. Your information while you're giving it is pretty solid. So when you go back to it, you are more willing to stand on it. It's going to be a lot stronger. It's going to hold you a lot firmer. And that's how you be knowing a lot of times when people are jumping into positions and they not really ready for the positions. And we all have to experience that shit, you know what I mean? So like, for me, I'm glad that the Tatiana beat, the remake, because I did the remake, ended up going viral before, you know, people was really acknowledging this vessel being used, you know, because I wasn't doing this. I was behind the cameras and stuff before, so that was completely different. But I could have possibly not have been ready for these engagements that's been happening, you know, and since the universe has been using this vessel as the portal, you know, having that thing go viral, and then I think it's at like 1.4 million views now. Just having all of that happen and transpire just kind of prepared me, and it makes you more humble as you grow and progress. you know. And that's kind of one reason why I take time out to come through the comments. I'll go through the comments, but it's usually like I'll give it at least 2-3 days before I check. Sometimes it's been a lot going on, so my time space in this past month or two has been really spaced out, but I still usually go through, because you still don't want to, you know, even as a organic teacher, you still don't want to put yourself in a position to where you starting to lead too much on your ego. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have to lead with your ego. You should only be able to use it when you have to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, eagles are brolic. They can go to places that people can't go. They pretty strong. They pretty solid. But you don't have to walk around egotistical all day. You know, I don't have to walk around with the ego out, because we don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but some people could get filled up in that space because they're seeing the likes, comments, and engagements. But it's like, if they shut the system down, none of that shit matters. So the people who really doing this is not really even concerned with that. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of us continue and still push and fight in these spaces. You know what I mean? Because it's bigger than us. This shit is bigger than me. You know what I mean? So that's why I always be like emphasizing how like this spiritual war is real and it's happening. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, discuss it. You got a lot of people dancing around it and doing other things. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, y'all already saw what happened when this, and then they shut everything down. You know what I mean? So it's only a matter of time before it spins back around. We got stores giving out fake eggs. Like, I'm in Virginia, in the areas that I'm in, it's a lot of orchards, it's a lot of farmers. So what they never show in zombie movies is beings like me who's already aware and hip to all these things. Like, there's too many farms and everything in Virginia to be going to the grocery store. Like, I can go up the road and it's a whole cornfield right here, and it's not fenced off. So if it shuts down, it's free food right here. I'm gonna go get some of this corn. I'll go up to the apple orchard, the peach orchard. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of ways that we can live off the land, that they always give everybody rushing to the grocery stores or farming and living off of the animals. Like, you don't have to drink baby cow food. You know, they call it milk. They call everything that's white milk, and it's usually some kind of substance for the baby, you know, whether it's the calf, the goat, the camels, any of them, you know what I mean? So we just have to be aware, and we have to be ready at all times, you know what I mean? But you gotta also be aware of them students who want to become teachers. There's a lot of beings out here that even if they don't want to become teachers, they just want to take your place, you know, or they just want to pull your energy down and keep you in a weird space because they're in a weird space. What I start doing now with certain beings like that, if I'm close to them, I'll put on another video or a content creator with someone else who's been in this field most likely longer than me, you know what I mean? And they would be speaking the same language I'm speaking. When beings are on the same team, you'll understand, like, we speak the same language. Like, I know it's all English, but the same way it's all English and it's broken down into different compartments and segments, you could go to the doctors and not understand their language, and it's English. You can go to the court system and not understand their language, and it's English. You can go to any urban hood out here and they all got a different English language, you know what I mean? So it's just a matter of understanding these things, you know what I mean? And the students that do want to become teachers, you know, they going shine through. But it's a lot of oppositions that continues to make new masks. Like, don't give nobody no credits or no accolades if they have not been grinding past a couple days, a couple weeks, or a couple months. Like, you have to put some work in. You have to put some work in, because there's a lot of beings out here masking. So in order for me to see this as not a mask, I gotta see the fruits. I gotta see the fruits. If it ain't no fruits, or if the fruits is rotten, then I'ma assume it's a mask. And I know the oppositions wear masks, because I know the Most High and the Creator, we ain't wearing no mask over here. You know what I mean? Most of us don't even want to be no actors, because that got to do with masking. Like, we ain't trying to hide. If we're in the Western world, we laying low. That's different. Laying low is different than hiding. You know what I mean? It is completely different. So just being aware and staying in tune, you know what I mean? It's a full out battle out here. The ones around you, you really have to fine tune your skills, you know what I mean? And like what I was listening to earlier, right? We all have a choice on the inside what we choose to think about and process. If somebody's choosing to sit in a space and be angry, that's by choice. Somebody's choosing to put out a disgusting vibration, that's by choice. You know, somebody could hit me in the face and I don't have to be mad. You know, I can respond and react to them, but I don't have to be mad about it. I'm in charge of this in here. We're putting too much emphasis on everything outside of us. We supposed to know and be aware of that, but you have to know that you have to master this first in yourself. Then it would make everything else easier when you're engaging with it, you know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.